Hello, we're here at Horyou Village at the Cannes Film Festival with actress and philanthropist Marisa Berenson. Hello Marisa, how are you today?
Hello Starlight, I'm very well. Happy to be here with you.
Thank you so much for coming.
With you.
So tell us a little bit about your experience as a Goodwill Ambassadoress for UNESCO. It must be a very important and meaningful position that you have in that role.
Well, it is. It's been 20 years, and it's been a wonderful adventure, a long, wonderful adventure. I came in with Federico Mayor and my friend Alice de Genlis. We both went in together at the time when Federico Mayor wanted Goodwill ambassadors to heighten the consciousness through media, through being able to talk to people and talk about the values of UNESCO. And through the 20 years I've worked at UNESCO, I must say that I've met the most extraordinary people, worked on so many different fronts, be it with children, for education, women, culture. And then on September 11th, when my sister Barry died, I was made Artist for Peace and then created a fund that was called the UNESCO Barry Berenson Perkins Fund, which was for children and young people who had been devastated in wars and natural disasters, to be able to reintegrate them into society, to build up their lives, to build up a new world through art therapy, through communication therapy, through all kinds of healing therapy. And it's been a program that I've been following ongoing for years. And then also I do work with Debbie Mace and Lamia Khashoggi, who do wonderful things all over the world, building schools, educating children. So I think the basis of everything I do is a very, UNESCO is education, science, and culture. And that is very vast, and it's in a lot of countries all over the world. And they do, education is the basis of most every program I do, except for cultural programs, and even then, because education is the basis of all children of our world, yesterday's and today's and tomorrow's world. It's the basis of every human being. It's the most important thing that we can have to be able to survive in this world, to be able to be educated, to be able to move forward and have hope and have a life and build, dreams and help people who are in countries who never have a chance to really be educated and who find their way, who find a life, who find a job, and who also, are able to eat. But education is the basis and the dignity of all human beings. And then there's been a lot of programs for women in countries all over the world, actually, who live in great disadvantage, and they also deserve to be helped and educated, protected. And women, of course, are taking on a big role on this planet, and a very important one. So it's been an ongoing process, actually, all my life, that I've since I was a very young girl. I think one has a consciousness, as you have, about helping and about giving back and about doing whatever it is that one can do to be a part of this planet, to be a part of the world, to be a little drop in the sea, as Mère Teresa used to say. We're only a drop in the sea, but we're a part of the sea. And that's how I think every human being is connected. Every human being should help each other to evolve, because we're all connected. And that I think there's a consciousness in the world now that I'm actually very positive about, especially, you know, when you see a platform like this, Horyou, it's wonderful initiative because it gives people a chance to, you know, meet each other, express themselves, you know, people who do great work, people who are not known and who are not in the light, like in Cannes, for instance, and give them a platform to speak on. And but I think there's a movement, a very important movement in the world now, because people are so in necessity to find a way, you know, to change themselves, to change the world, and, you know, ecologically, on every level. And on every level, I think it's important that that we all work towards that, as you know.
What would be a message for the younger generation of humanitarians?
I think it's there's a lot of wonderful young people nowadays who have a consciousness that's completely changing the world, because individually that's the only way the world can change is through ourselves individually. And of course it starts through the young people, through the children. So the sooner, you know, you give the possibility to young people to be able to be out there doing and having a consciousness and having a respect for the planet, for each other, for others, and that they have I think they're the hope of the world, you know, they're the only hope, because there's so much going on that seems negative in the world, that seems horrendous. But then there's all of this wonderful movement of young people, of children who are now completely, I think, also born with another consciousnness. And I think one has to help them also very much to come out of a certain, also because I think there's a media world that's become very important but also very dangerous. And I think children and young people have a tendency to close themselves into these medias, and it's important to open oneself out to the world and to talk to people and to look at people and to really listen. And it's something that one has to teach children today, because they all know how to do the computer, they all know that world now much better than we do. But the important thing is also to live in the world, to be in the life, to you know, living, and it's about being out there, really living life and respecting others and not locking yourself away, because there's a lot of loneliness. There's a lot of there's a lot of difficulty, I think, people have today, and young people especially, to connect, to communicate, because they communicate in another way. But the most important communication and the most precious thing in life is les rencontres, to talk to people, to see what they have in their hearts, in their souls, to be able to connect on that level, to really look somebody in the eye and see what, and hear and listen to what they feel, what they're thinking, what they need. And I think, for me, that's a very important thing, and it's something that I think children have to be educated to. Well, you know that, you work with children, you've experienced that a lot, no? And
I agree.
Yeah?
And how, in terms of your future projects as a Goodwill Ambassador, is there something that's on the horizon?
There's always a lot of things on the horizon. I'm working at the moment with the hospital Robert Debré in Paris, which is the biggest children's hospital, and I've become their godmother because it's a hospital that deals only with children and little small children, and they're the most amazing hospital, and they're at the moment looking, for instance, to buy a robot which operates tiny children's hearts.
Wow.
Yeah.
So using technology to really help
it's the
children.
technology, and they need the technology, and the technology is in America. So I'm helping them, and I've become their ambassador. I work, as I said, with Debbie and Lamia. I'm sort of the godmother of their project. And it's ongoing. There's so many wonderful things one can do, and there's so many openings all the time. And I'm just here to help.
As a mentor, that's wonderful.
Here to help.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your experiences with us. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.